thing. There we are. Welcome back to the stream, everybody. Yeah, congratulations, Core2. It's you've been a stellar addition to the stream team. Awesome. Been doing a great job. And oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And great a great compil what's the word I'm looking for? A great addition in a different way from all the other people that are that stream for GOG. You're your own thing. You know what I mean? That's the thing about on GOG that I like is that we have a bunch of different people that are sort of into similar related things, but we're all into different things too. We're all different personalities, different people. You know. So anyway, 9 years flying by like yesterday. Yeah. Although if I tell you the one thing, if I look at some of the old clips of me, it definitely doesn't seem that way. Like I've got clips of me where my mustache and everything is still red. And Kai, there's Dizzy. 9 years of mopiness. Hello, Uncle? Krusner? You have recorded streams of me? Oh, yeah. Somehow I don't think I am your uncle. I'm pretty positive you're not. I can be pretty assured that you're not, shall I say. I don't think, but then you never know. Um, anyway, sorry, just a second. I do saw off one of my nails here. You love God games, DRM, no problem, and games don't die. That's true. Absolutely, I agree totally. What is this? I'm just waiting around. Cat's going to be jumping up over here now. I'd rather she didn't, and if she does, I'm going to have to kick her out, at least for the time being. But hey, but look at me, look at my face. See, look. This is all. I'm all patchy again. I go through stages of this with my skin. See, all red and patchy, and then give me a few days, it'll go away. I don't know what it is. It's just the way my skin is. But anyway, what was I going to say? Sorry. I won't belabor the point here talking about the other situation going on here, but um, I'm always a little um, when it comes to like uh, personal situations and different sort of crises and stuff and family and such and whatnot. I always try to somehow look for some way to find some positive thing to hold on to no matter what the situation is, right? Uh, and not to be unrealistic, also to be realistic about things, but to also be optimistic and positive. Um, and so no matter what, you know, whether it's directly like stuff that I've been involved with or like personally directly, or if it's family members or friends or whatever. I find that when it comes to a crisis, when a crisis happens or when something happens and it's sort of like bowls you over a little bit, the first reaction is always one of shock and like, holy crap, like, whoa, what's going on, and it's very easy to fall down a slope where you start to think completely just dread and everything. But once the initial shock and everything is over and you realize what the situation is and you look at it and you try and find, at least this is what I try to do. I try to find how things are actually good. Even in a bad situation, it could be worse. It could be much worse, but it's not. And right now, things are actually okay. So I'm talking about right now, of course, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that I just recently found out, like a few hours ago, actually, that my nephew's wife is in the hospital, and she had a bit of a COPD incident that also affected her heart. She had heart failure, and she's on a ventilator right now. The last that I heard from my sister, and this is actually, she went into the hospital a few days ago. Like she's been there since I think Sunday. And they didn't tell me about it yet until today, right? Because they weren't even sure themselves, and they were still trying to deal with it and whatnot. But she's still in there, and she's occasionally she's conscious and whatnot. But it's right now they're trying to keep her sedated because she's got this ventilator thing going in her throat and stuff like that, and it works much better if she's unconscious, and she's dealing with other issues at the time. But things are not looking. She's stable at the very least, and things seem to be getting better. The doctors are pretty hopeful that she will come out of it, and things could always turn, of course, and whatnot. But right now she's in care. She's being looked after, and they just needed time to. She's going to be in there for a while. And eventually she should come out of it, and we'll see exactly what needs to be done. She's going to have a long road ahead of her in terms of recovery and stuff. But again, my take on it and my thought on it at the moment, and again, I'm talking to my sister. Talking to my sister about it at the same time. We both tend to agree that right now she's in the best possible place she could be, and she's being looked after and she's being tended to. So everything is fine. And now it's just a matter of just waiting for her to improve, for her situation to get better, and then to get to the root of the cause and whatnot. And then to see if there's any other issues that we're going to have to deal with afterwards and whatnot. But yeah, she's in the best of care. She's in the best place she could possibly be right now. And the fact that this happened is an indication that it was going to happen. So now it has. So now it's being tended to. Before a couple of days ago, there was nothing really happening, or at least that she was aware of, So now she's not even aware of anything. And from what the doctors are saying, after, when she comes out of all of this, she's not even going to probably remember any of this stuff because she's been so sedated and whatnot. She'll probably wake up in the hospital wondering what the hell, and she still does come to every now and then, and she has a bit of a reaction, but when you went to the hospital in 2018, I didn't remember the first week or so. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the big point of it, Coyote, the big point of it is, to me, is that this is just the beginning of a medical journey that she's going to go through and whatnot. But this is the start of coming out of it. Very often a traumatic experience like that is like a reset. They're part of life, yeah. And it's a reset. It's sort of like basically it not to make a comparison, of course, but it's like when I had the blood clots and the pulmonary embolism and whatnot, and I went into the hospital. Before that happened, I was not thinking of anything about, what I was doing to myself. I knew that I wasn't really taking good care of myself and whatnot, and I was smoking and all this other stuff. But that incident that happened to me was the beginning of a reset of everything for myself, so that now I'm actually in much better shape than I was back then, you know. And it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have that event, you know. So anyway, the point that I'm making is that this to me is quite potentially the beginning of a reset for her and for her husband and everything else, you know, because it's easy to take a lot of things for granted, and then right now there's this scary incident, you know. My sorry, cat's up here. Yeah, exactly, Coyote, exactly. My nephew's wife had a sort of an incident where her heart failed. She had to be taken in an ambulance to the hospital. Her heart failed, and she also has a COPD, right? So it was probably triggered by that or something or whatever. They're still getting to the root of the problem, whatever, but she's in the hospital, and she has been for a few days. And she's got she's on a ventilator right now. So there's no reason to think that she won't come out of it. That's the thing. And it's just that right now they're just getting to the root of what the issues is and what the problem is. So and like I say, she's in there right now. She's in the hospital right now under care, so that they can treat her to help her to recover, you know. Hate hospitals. When you're a 14-year-old kid in a hospital for 30 days after a head injury. I'm terribly disgusted. And another experience from just before the pandemic. What a waste of nerves. Yeah, but the thing is, interestingly enough, I've been in the hospital a few times, and my experience, to be honest, is when I'm in the hospital, I think, well, this is a good place for me to be then. Yeah, I know, but the thing is, though, you're in the best place you could be at the time. Exactly. And your dad, you don't want him to be in a hospital, but goodness gracious, it's better for him to be in the hospital right now. You know, that's the thing. You have to look at it that way. He's in the best possible place he could be right now. And then if he finally gets put into a long-term care place, even better, you know. And that's what happened with your mom and all of that. And the thing is, you can look at it from a purely negative standpoint very easily, and that's the thing that a lot of people are doing. Your dad will find a place, he'll get in. It's just a question of when, but he'll get in. They'll find a place for him. There's no reason to think that they won't. You know, it's just a question of time, how long it'll be, you know, because you got to wait, and that's it. But again, this is what I'm getting at. It's being positive does not mean being, yeah, I'm the only one with this kind of block. You're not the only one, and I subconsciously know that's the best place when someone is feeling down. Absolutely, yeah. And you're not the only person, but the thing is, from my perspective in general, you don't benefit at all from dwelling on the negative aspect of what's happening. Even when it is a negative thing, like you don't want to be in the hospital. It's not a good thing that you're in the hospital. But now that you're in the hospital, it's a good thing that that's where you are. You need to be in the hospital. You know? You don't want to be there, but thank goodness you are. Because now, if there's anything that can be done, if you can be treated at all, you're in the best possible place. And so, and they're constantly going to be checking you and making sure, and eventually things can turn around. And to anybody out there who's gone through a medical issue, uh, it can take months or years even, but it is possible to come out the other side. It's not always a complete negative story. Certainly there are instances where people do not recover, or they have a downward slide and they end up going, and the worst case scenario, you end up losing them or something, which is always a possibility, but it's not necessarily the absolute definite thing. And being negative doesn't help if you can. Mom stayed 1 month in the hospital, recovered, and she's fine. Exactly, Orbital. Yeah, I used to live. I lived with an oxygen tank for like a month and a half. I used to have to carry it around with me. I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without being out of breath, and I had to use an oxygen tank. And I was in the ICU because of the embolism. Yeah. And I was in the ICU at the time, for a while, and I was on warfarin for 6 months, taking Coumadin, and whatnot. But I managed to turn things around. Because I did what the doctors told me to do, and I gave up smoking, and I started, and I don't drink, and I don't do drugs or anything, and I live a much better, healthier life, and thanks to that, and the thing is, it's almost because of that incident that I benefited, that I actually was able to turn my life around because that happened. And so my thought about about this sort of thing, and sure, right now she's in the hospital and she's and everything, but that does not mean the end of the world. That could be the beginning. That could be the beginning of the world for her. Just a change, and also getting the actual health care that she needs, and getting on the right path to be able to improve and better herself. Now, she may still have some incidents to deal with because of this, but it's all part of the process of getting better. And this is only just the start. So anyway, like I was saying earlier, I could have very easily said, well, maybe it's not right for me to, play games and have fun and laugh and joke and whatever. But ultimately, that's not the case. Because I think that's all the more reason why you should. Because you're not being disrespectful. You're just basically going to be positive about the whole situation. So my thing is, I think that ultimately she'll be fine. Could I be wrong? Maybe, but I don't think so. All indications from what I'm talking to my sister and everything is that, there's no indication that things will turn terrible. Things are actually getting a little better. She's actually responding, but she's going to be in the hospital for a bit while she recovers from all of this stuff, and they just have to treat her and whatnot, and she should be able to come out of it. And then after, we'll see where she's at, and then it's going to be a slow sort of a climb, but she'll get out of there, and everything will be okay. That's it. Ultimately, no matter what, everything will be okay. Even if, God forbid, even if things don't turn out the way we want them to, it'll be okay. That's the thing. And so, that's why I'm still streaming, because I think it's important, you know. Not the streaming so much, but just to go on, you know. That's it. Um, and also, I'm always reminded. Uh, oh, I don't think I have the. Do I have the thing here? I don't. I don't have my other. I don't have my other cam set up here on this. I think I do on the main screen, but not here. I have a cat in my lap. I was just gonna say. But anyway, and also, um, another thing I was gonna say. Uh, a year ago, I had my gallbladder out. For at least 6 months before that, I was having issues and having gallbladder attacks and having to go to the hospital and whatnot. And then finally, I had the surgery. And then after the surgery, I had to have a catheter for like a few weeks and all of that stuff. But the thing is, that was last year, and now I'm so much better than I was back a year and a half ago. I actually sleep better and I can eat and I don't have any major issues, you know. I know when I eat certain things and I get a little bloated. Oh, yeah. Well, either way, Coyote, your gallbladder needed to go and it did. Same with mine. No stones, thus no pain. But like you get tons better when out is out. Yeah, exactly. Because your body doesn't need it in you, you know. So excuse me. So this is a much more serious situation with my daughter-in-law. What would I call her? My nephew's wife. I don't know what I would call her. Yeah. So she right now is at the beginning of recovering from whatever it is that got her to there in the first place, so that you can find a way to become healthier than she was. As far as I can, you know. So anyway, I won't go on about that, and over the next, while I won't talk about it a lot, but I just wanted to do today just because it is on my mind, so I just wanted to make sure that you're aware because, this cat is a mope. She knows. I want to do the Boxite movie hypey thing, but but this cat is just here. Yeah, she does. And she also feels this is a great place for her to sleep. Um, so I think for tonight at least, I think I may pass on box hype movie hype. Uh, Not because I mean I could do it, but I don't want to rush into it, and I don't I'm just not quite up to it at the moment, and disturbing the cat and all that stuff. So I think I'm just going to head back into the game and see if I can't finish it tonight, which will be a good thing, I think. Okie dokie. So if I press this button here,